Today we're going to talk about classifying triangles by their angles. We're going to look at 4 definitions first, and then we're going to start using these definitions to solve problems. The first definition we're going to look at is a triangle, and it's a closed polygon with 3 sides and angles that equal 180 degrees. Acute triangle is a triangle with all 3 angles measuring less than 90 degrees. The next one is an obtuse triangle, and it's a triangle that has one obtuse angle, which is greater than 90 degrees. And then the right triangle is a triangle with one right angle, and that equals 90 degrees. So we're going to use these 3 types of triangles to figure out what the missing angles are in our triangles and then to be able to classify it. So we're going to look at another one of the charts like we did yesterday, and then I'm going to get you to try some on your own. So we're going to work through them. So we have triangle 1. It says this is a right triangle. So what we know is if it gives us 43 degrees and it's a right triangle, that means one of our angles has to be 90 degrees. So because this is in a chart and not where it has it drawn out, you can pick either angle 1 or angle 3. I'm just going to put it in the first one. But if it had it drawn out and it had the angles labeled, you would have to put 90 degrees in the one that actually had the square in it. So if we know that the triangle has to equal 180, we know we have 90 plus 43 plus some number x equals 180. So 90 plus 43 is 133 plus x. So if we take 180 and minus 133, that's going to give us x equals 47 degrees. So we can put 47 in angle 3, and the sum of all of these angles together is 180 degrees. Now let's try number 2. We know that one is 102 and one angle is 57. Our total we know should be 180. So we want to say 180 equals 57 plus 102 plus x. So 57 plus 102 is 159. And then we want 180 minus 159, and that gives us 21. So now we need to look at our angles. We have 2 acute angles and 1 obtuse angle. And so this is going to be an obtuse triangle. Remember, it's obtuse if it has 1 obtuse angle. It's acute if all of them are less than 90 degrees or acute angles. So we had 2 that were less than 90 degrees, but we need 3 to be acute, so it had to be obtuse. All right, let's try number 3. We have an acute triangle that is going to be 180 degrees. So we have 60 times 2, which is 120, plus some number equals 180. 180 minus 120 is 60. So this is an acute triangle, but it's also going to be an equilateral triangle, because if all the angles are the same, that means all of the sides are going to have to be the same. Number 4, again, we know this is equal to 180, so 180 equals 35 plus 45.5, and I went ahead and added that to be 80.5 plus x. 180 minus 80.5 is x equals 99.5. So you can see again, we have two acute angles but one obtuse. So it's going to be obtuse. And now we're going to look at number 5. 72 plus 72 is 144. So 180 equals 144 plus x. X is going to be 36. And if you look, all of these angles are less than 90, so it's going to be acute. Now, I want you to go ahead and work the bottom 4 on your paper by yourself, and then come back and we will go through them. I have 2 on this slide and 2 on the next slide. So work through all 4 of them and then come back and check your answers to see if you have the same one as me. So go ahead and pause it because I'm going to start working them out together. So if we look at our first one, we can see it has the box. The box indicates a right angle, so this has to be a right triangle. So we know we have 180 equals 53 plus 90 plus x. 53 plus 90 is 143. So 180 minus 143, x equals 37. Make sure you're putting that degree mark up there too as well. So we have 180 equals 59 plus 42 plus x. 59 plus 42 is 101. So 180 minus 101 is 79 degrees. If we look, all of these are less than 90 degrees, which means this is going to be an acute triangle. All right, let's look at the last 2. We have 38 degrees, so 180 equals 38. And if you look, these 2 lines right here mean that those lines are congruent or equal, which means the angles are also going to be congruent or equal. So when we set up this equation, it could be 2x because x is going to be the same. So now this is just going to be a two-step equation instead of just a one-step. So 180 minus 38 is 142 equals 2x. Now we're going to divide each side by 2. And x is going to equal 71. So if we have 71 here, and 38, those are all less than 90. So this is going to be another acute triangle. So let's work on our last one. We have 180 equals 98 plus 25 plus x. 98 plus 25 is 123. 180 minus 123 is x equals 57. So we have 57, 25, which are less than 90, but 98 is greater than 90, so it's obtuse, which means this is an obtuse triangle. So that's all we have for today. Hopefully now you understand how to classify triangles by sides and find the missing side length, and classify triangles by angles and find the missing angles, because the next thing we're going to work on now is, instead of just having whole numbers, we're going to stick equations in there and solve for variables. So bring any questions to class tomorrow, and this is what we'll work on tomorrow.